Back in studio with the fellas to dissect some of what we saw there at Ford Field, and it was the big question mark coming in. What would J.J. McCarthy look like coming off of injury, and what sort of urgency would there be required after seeing what Sam Darnold's doing, seeing what Daniel Jones is doing, seeing what this team did without him? What did you make of his first performance back, excuse me?
He did exactly what was needed to do. He went out there and won the football game. He showed incredible toughness. He showed resilience coming back from an injury. He used his legs. He used his arms. He got the ball to his superstar, Justin Jefferson. T.J. Hawkinson's another one. Then Jalen Naylor, another guy. We don't know his name. We're learning now, but it's because a guy like J.J. McCarthy trusted him, gave him the opportunity, regardless of who it was in that moment. He knew where the football needed to go, and he delivered it. Gutsy performance by J.J. McCarthy. The Vikings have something to be excited about.
There was a lot of static around McCarthy after we saw him jump over a ball carrier a week ago when he was the third emergency quarterback, and then we saw the performance prior to the shoulder injury. There was a lot of bad press, for lack of a better term, around Minnesota and maybe the handling of this ankle injury. Vindication here in the performance and how clean he looked and how ready he looked to perform.
Yeah, perhaps. I think it's more, honestly, a commentary on the media, that we all had to have a take after his first game where he played 3 bad quarters and then won the game against Chicago. And then after the second game where we were all ready to say, nope, he's going to be a bust. Oh, they made a huge mistake. And until he could get healthy, he couldn't prove anyone wrong or right. He had to get right, and his head coach, Kevin O'Connell, who is widely considered to be one of the better quarterback coaches in the entire NFL, he said, I'm not going to screw this guy up. I'm not going to throw him back out there when he's not ready. And you all can believe in your conspiratorial minds that this is a soft benching or whatever it is, but he was taking care of his guy. Yeah. And he has a good long track record, both verbally and with his own actions, of how he cares about young quarterbacks. And so what did we see today? We saw a balanced attack from the Minnesota Vikings offense where they had 30 dropbacks. That included 5 sacks. They ran the ball, I think, 27 or so times when you take away the kneel downs. So it was balanced. It was 50-50 more or less. That is what you need when you have a young quarterback who's trying to find a rhythm, who's trying to gain some confidence. And, it also helps when your defense, led by Brian Flores, gets the other team to have 5 3-and-outs in the game.
Part of taking care of your guy is making sure there's the right portion on his plate. Did this look like a fully opened playbook to you? Balanced, yes, but in terms of the looks that J.J. McCarthy was able to get to?
Fully open, hard to say. I think the biggest thing coming out of this game was that J.J. McCarthy looked healthy. Sometimes quarterback, high ankle sprain, right? You don't want to rush back on that. So much of what quarterbacks are able to do, J.J. McCarthy's able to do, prides himself on getting out of the pocket, making some plays, did a good job with his feet today, had a rushing touchdown. Thought he was accurate for the most part, threw it pretty well, made the good decisions. They played complementary defense today as well. The defense, Minnesota, 5 sacks. Detroit, 5 of 7 on third down, and they held that rushing attack to 3 yards per carry. So Brian Flores and this defense on the other side of the ball, way to help out your young quarterback.
27-24, a rare loss here for the Detroit Lions, who we know the infrastructure is there to bounce back and continue to be one of the top teams, not just in the NFC, but in the league. What does this loss do in the midst of a season to recenter a team?
Motivates them. I mean, we saw this team lose earlier in the year, and we thought, oh, well, maybe the Detroit Lions are going to go back to being the same Detroit Lions of old. They righted that wrong. They came back. They bounced back stronger than ever. I fully expect them to do that. One, they've got the head coach in Dan Campbell that can get it done. He can motivate these guys to self-reflect, watch the tape, look themselves in the mirror, and identify, hey, you know what? I didn't do this right. David Montgomery is a perfect example. He's a veteran guy in this league. He's played a lot of football. The costly fumble. He's going to show that in front of the team, not to call David Montgomery out, but to show this is our leader. He put the ball on the ground, and that is something that equates to losing football. We cannot do that, because if he does it, and then you take a turn, and then you take a turn, and then you take a turn, well, guess what? If we run 60 plays and everybody takes a turn screwing the ball or screwing the play up, dropping the ball, putting the ball on the ground, that's 11 mistakes out of 60 plays right there. Yeah. That's not winning football. They're going to correct these things. They're going to continue to try to get Jameson Williams more acclimated into the offense. They kept the Ferrari in the garage for far too long, relying on over-reliable Amon-Ra St. Brown, the pickup truck. Sometimes you got to let the Ferrari out, but they're going to get this done. They've got the players, the guys, and the coaches to do it.
Sometimes a loss like this can be the biggest motivator, too. I mean, what have we seen out of the Kansas City Chiefs the last few weeks after a rough start to the season? They're just ripping off wins, destroying everybody, playing really well. I don't really have any level of concern with this Detroit team right now. We've kind of seen it over the years. This is the NFL, that division. It's tough. It's physical. These are the kind of games that you kind of expect when the Vikings and the Lions play each other. They've got playmakers everywhere on offense. Defense is coming along. Aiden Hutchinson is back playing like Aiden Hutchinson. So back to the drawing board. They'll recoup this game for the next 24 hours, figure out what they need to improve on, and got another one next week.
Ferrari or Raptor, I know, is often your conundrum, Jonathan Jones.
It typically is. Here's a conundrum. They're 5-3 right now. They just had a bye, so they came off the bye and lost this game. That's not great. I just saw your face, Damien. That's not great. And then you look at the schedule and what they have coming up. They are not going to be at home these next 2 weeks. They go to Washington, and then they go to Philadelphia. So Washington, I think we may take Detroit in that game. Washington could win that game. And then facing the Philadelphia Eagles, there is a realistic path, as crazy as it sounds right now, and I'm not trying to overreact to them losing a close game to a divisional opponent. There's a realistic path to them being 5-5 2 weeks from now, right? I mean, so this is just one of those, take care of yourself right now, because you should not have looked the way that you did today coming off the bye.
It's the greatest choose-your-own-adventure on TV. NFL football never disappoints. A jam-packed slate here. And we got one more to show you here from the 1 p. Eastern kicks. Coming up, Green Bay rolling out the barrel as we take a look first at some numbers. J.J. McCarthy finished strong, and, you know, we're counting quarters on this kid, but you can count a W here against the big-time divisional opponent.